There's something about Russia that I've always loved. It's that kind of unknown quantity, that mysterious element about Russia. And because, I grew up in the Cold War years where Russia was not somewhere you could get to or know much about very easily. I learnt Russian at grammar school and I went on to do a degree in Russian. And it's the love of my life.
On July 17th, 1918, four young sisters walked down 23 steps into the cellar of a house in Ekaterinburg. The eldest was 22, the youngest only 17. Together with their parents and their 13-year-old brother, they were all brutally murdered. Their crime? To be the daughters of the last Tsar and Tsaritsa of all the Russias. Historian and author Helen Rappaport decided to tell the untold story of the four sisters, Olga, Tatiana, Maria, and Anastasia Romanov, their lives, their loves, and ultimately, their deaths.
History as detection. I love that whole process of winkling away and searching and beavering until you get to the truth of something. Every book I write, I have, for my own personal satisfaction, I have to feel I'm saying new things and that I'm finding new material. And that's the thrill of writing and research and being a historian. When I pick up on something, especially in the research phase, when I'm chasing something down, I will sit and sit and sit and sit till I've cracked it. And I have, on occasion, sat far too long, which is really unhealthy and bad for me. I wanted to tell their story as real people. I wanted to uncover their true personalities and show that they were actually four very different girls. They weren't just this anonymous, bland collective, as they're too often presented. Olga, I suppose, was the most dreamy and romantic and sensitive of the girls, who always wore her heart on her sleeve. Tatiana was brisk and reserved and very organised. Maria was soft and sweet and very Russian. Anastasia, much written about and much mythologised, was the wild child. Within terms of a privileged life, those girls were never spoilt. Their mother brought them up with good old English Victorian values because her grandmother was Queen Victoria. They had this wonderful care of others that shines through even in the darkest and worst days of their captivity in Tobolsk and in Ekaterinburg. Those last few letters they wrote, they just are full of love. I couldn't have written the book in the way I have without being obsessive, because I worried and worried at it like a dog at a bone. By the end of writing the book, they felt like my girls. I'm a mother myself. I've got two daughters, and I couldn't not but feel for them and identify with them. And I felt very strongly as though they inhabited my imagination so closely that I did feel a part of them and them a part of me. I think I really short-circuited by the end of Four Sisters. I burnt my gaskets out, really. I'd worked so hard, writing the book pretty fast, researching and writing it pretty fast, and living so intensively at a very emotional pitch with those girls and their tragic story. Quite soon after that, I decided I had to move, live where I want to live, always want to live, in the countryside, nearer to the sea, with a garden. У меня русская душа. Maybe I have a Russian soul. Sometimes Russians say that to me. I don't know where the instinct for Russia came from, but it's very deep in my psyche. I can't live life at half speed, and at times I've driven myself to exhaustion, maybe by living life at too high a speed, but I think you've got to grab every moment and have a real insatiable curiosity about the world. And I don't want my motor to stop. I don't want that curiosity to fade, because if it does, I probably would stop writing, and I don't want to stop writing.